Good morning, Devils fans. I saw this fun little list going around on Twitter of the top 10 U25 skater duos in the NHL. So obviously this means no goalies included, and obviously means no one 25 years or older included. So I am going to keep with the 10 that Mike Bartner, the user that first put this list out there, had used. But I personally just disagree with the order, and so I'm going to give you my take on those teams. For the record, what Mike put together for us was his list at number one, the Dallas Stars with Jason Robertson and Miro Heiskanen. Number two, the Devils with Nico and Jack. Three, Vancouver with Elias Pettersson and Quinn Hughes. Four, the Avalanche with Makar and Byram. Five, the Senators with Tkachuk and Stützle. Buffalo with Dahlin and Cousins. Habs with Suzuki Caulfield. Carolina, Svech-Necas and Necas. Red Wings, Raymond-Seider. And finally, rounding it out, the Ducks with Zegras and McTavish. I didn't have any super glaring issues with the teams that we're including here, at least none that initially came to mind. So, like I said, I'm just going to stick with these 10, but instead give you my rundown on these. So, starting at the top, I'm going to move the New Jersey Devils up one spot. Obviously, I think we have the best U25 duo, especially if you just take positional strength into this. Both centers, just the 1-2 punch of that. Jack, in my opinion, is the best player on this list. Obviously, a bit controversial there when you're talking about Makar being on here. I know J-Rob has really had an insane upward trajectory, but Jack is a true 1C who's going to be putting up multiple 100-plus point seasons, and I think that is just invaluable, even compared to a true 1D like Makar. Avs actually dropped quite a bit for me on this list, but I will get into that. Number two, I'm actually keeping them right behind us, and that is going to be the Vancouver Canucks. I think they're actually underrated on this list by coming in at three. Obviously, I'm only bumping them up one spot to two. But you have a guy who's probably going to be in the Selke conversation quite a bit and is a high-flying offensive 100-point guy in Elias Pettersson, and then a true 1D in Quinn Hughes. I know earlier in his career he was kind of knocked on the defensive side of the game and was just an offensive dynamo. And I think he's really shored up the defensive side. I mean, he's really, they're going to talk about small defensemen, but for the most part, every defenseman on this list is of that pedigree. And I think Quinn's defense has come a long way. Pair that in with Elias Pettersson, and it's a crazy, crazy 1-2 punch, obviously, with me having them here at two. A big part of that is obviously positional. I think us having the two centers compared to a center and defenseman gives us the edge. I also think Jack is better than Pettersson, and then Nico center over Quinn. And even when I did my redraft, I still take Nico over Pettersson, which I know is controversial. I just think on the aggregate and for a career, Nico is going to be better over the full term of it. Coming in at three, dropping from number one, I have Dallas. Now, I love, love, love both these players. Anyone that knows me knows I've been a major, major Heiskanen fan ever since he was drafted in that Nico Pettersson draft. And then J-Rob has really, really come into his own this past couple seasons. And they are a absolute stud duo, but you're talking about a winger and defenseman here. That's really where they're going to get the biggest knocks. I think J-Rob is right up there with the Pettersson, Jack-Nicos. Same thing with Heiskanen. I think he's right in that conversation as well with Quinn. Just, you're talking about centers versus wing defensemen, and they kind of lose out there. Now, this is where, again, I said Avs are going to take a huge drop because they are not my number four team. Coming in there is going to be the Senators. Stützle and Tkachuk is a crazy 1-2 combo here. Absolute premier 1C in Stützle. He's likely going to have 100-point season at some point in his career. Tkachuk is one of the premier power forwards at the wing in the league, along with his brother and Timo. And I just think this combo is going to do absolute work for Ottawa for years and years to come. It's crazy to me that I think I mentioned it on the previous list that they were, well, I guess only five. I have them here at four. But yeah, these guys I think could even argue moving into the top three on this list. Obviously, we're talking still young guys still coming into their own. So it could see some fluctuation as this list continues to get more data input into it over the years. Coming in at five, still not the Avalanche, as I have Buffalo now here at this spot with Dahlin and Cousins. I did talk about both of these recent teams, the Send and Buffaloes, in some recent videos comparing the cores, as I put it, of both teams. Dahlin-Coz, absolutely amazing. You've got a center, you got the 1D, both super young, both absolute studs. But kind of as I said, I think just the teams above them have a bit more of a step. Dahlin is, if not above, definitely right there with Quinn and Miro. I probably actually put him above both of them. But it's really that second pair with when you take Cousins comparing to J-Rob. I'm taking J-Rob. And then, I mean, Stutz-Brady. Again, you're talking a center and winger 1D. So I could actually see Buffalo's argument taken above. I just think the combination of Stutz-Brady outdoes the combo of Dahlin-Coz, even if Cousins kind of has the center priority position there. I just don't think. And one of the comments on my last video says I am possibly underrating Cousins quite a bit, given his age and what he did do. Possible. I would love to see him continue that trajectory going into this next season. Again, I love Buffalo. I love the team that they're putting together there. Maybe I am a little lower on Cousins, not seeing every last second of his games in and out. Kind of like people underrated Nico in his younger years, not watching all of his games. So Buffalo fans, don't eat me alive on this one. Again, I think you guys have a great team here, and Cousins really could put himself in this conversation. Maybe bumping this duo up into the top 3, but right now I got him 5. Finally coming in, I have the Avalanche here at 6 with Makar-Byram. Makar's doing a ton of the heavy lifting here, but you needed another U25 guy, and Byram's really the only one on the Avalanche. So he's the one there. He doesn't really fit in with the rest of the absolute stacked duos here on the list. Again, Makar does a lot of the heavy lifting over the teams that are going to be below him here. We all know how amazing Makar is. So yeah, that's where the Avalanche is going to come in for me. Next up, I'm actually bumping up Carolina here. I thought it was kind of weird that they were below the Habs. I actually moved them down quite a bit on this list. So yeah, Svech-Necas, Necas, great duo, absolutely amazing guys. They just aren't the truly elite. Svech-Necas might be able to push himself into that combo, but he's kind of at that age where he probably is what he is at this point. Again, still really, really good. Just not in the, Jack-Nico, Pettersson, JRob, Stutzel, Dahlin, Makar type conversations. And so that's why these rest of these teams are all below, because I don't think they have that one player that is the true stud on the team. Next coming up is the Red Wings. Raymond-Seider here. They're both really good. They both also took steps back last year. So we can see maybe where their trajectory is going to end up going for them. They both obviously have the pedigree and the makings of being a really, really strong duo here. But with those step backs, we'll see. Again, I don't think either of them are that true stud that you need to break it into the top 5 on this list, or even top 6. So I have them here at number 8. Number 9, the Habs, Suzuki and Caulfield. I know Suzuki gets talked up quite a bit in the Montreal market. I just don't quite see it. I think he is not in the same conversation as a Nico or even Cousins. So that maybe will get some pushbacks from Montreal fans, because I know Suzuki has had much better years, but Cousins, again, is much younger, much in the general sense. Caulfield is also great under St. Louis. He has done absolutely fantastic. It's just, again, we need to see these guys continue to do it. I just don't think either of them are true game breakers. And then where I agree on the list, obviously, is rounding it out at number 10, and that is the Ducks with Zegras and McTavish. Zegras is really, really good. I don't think he is hyped up as the NHL wants to make him to be, and McTavish is fine. I mean, he's going to be good, just not above any of these other teams on the list, but still ahead of a lot of other teams in the NHL. I mean, you're still beating out a team like the Rangers that had a number 1 overall and number 2 overall pick in Lafreniere and Capocaco, and they're not in my top 10. So that's really going to round it out for this one. Again, running it down, I've got Devils, Canucks, Stars, Senators, Sabres, Avalanche, Hurricanes, Red Wings, Montreal, and the Ducks. That is going to do it for this video. Let me know if you think I have any arduous takes, on this one. Man, butchered that word. And yeah, really, if I were to give any critique on this list for myself, one of my initial gut reactions was actually putting Power on this list over Cousins. But I had a comment on the last videos really talking Cousins up to me. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Buffalo Sabres opinion over my own on one of their own players for this and say Cousins is more of a stud than I pick him to be. So, going to, like I said, watch a lot more Buffalo games this year. So definitely going to be keeping my eye on him for this. But yeah, that is going to round out the weekend. Like I said, keeping these Sunday videos nice, short, and sweet. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I will see you in the morning tomorrow as always. And forever, let's go Devils.